Hi, this is Starkey Sowers. Welcome again to another Plus Program training series. Today's topic is amino acids, and this is part 2. So we're going to do a little bit of a review looking at part 1. One thing that we talked about is amino acids are the backbone, so to speak, of proteins. And so proteins obviously comprise about 20% of our total tissue or total body weight on our bodies, water being about 60%. So proteins are not only very important, but there's also some very great characteristics about proteins. When we look at proteins, they are basically our structure. So when we think about muscle tissue, we think about bone tissue, we think about skin, hair, nails, all those things are made of protein components. And so additionally, enzymes, which basically not only help with digestion of foods, but also regulate what we call cellular activity, as well as hormones, which are like intercellular communication systems, so to speak. A lot of those are made from amino acids as well. Additionally, immunoglobulins, which are the immune system that fights off invaders like viruses and bacteria, those are made from amino acids when the body takes them and makes them into proteins. So another couple of things to remember about proteins, the body needs adequate amounts of amino acids or proteins on a daily basis. We talked about essential and non-essential amino acids. There are roughly 20 different types of amino acids, or 18, depending on the source that you're looking at, as far as the authorities, so to speak. And then roughly about 9 of those are what we call essential amino acids. They basically have to be provided on a regular basis. And our bodies need roughly about 60 grams of protein a day. Ultimately, that protein source can come either from a vegetable source or come from an animal source. And animal sources typically are the best as far as being a complete protein, meaning that it has all 9 of those particular essential amino acids together. So a lot of you guys might be thinking, wow, I wonder if I'm getting enough protein in. So a lot of times it's good to get like a food guide out and kind of maybe look at it, see if you're getting enough proteins. And a lot of people, once they start looking, they realize that they don't have enough protein coming in on a regular basis. And you might be thinking, well, geez, I want amino acids for sure. I know I've got to get proteins to get to those amino acids. The body ultimately takes those proteins and breaks them down into amino acids, and we're going to look at those in a second. But you might be thinking, well, where would I get it? So one of the things we know for sure is you can do a supplement on your protein. So what does it mean to supplement? It means, well, I'm not getting enough in my daily diet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to it. So protein powders are real common sources of supplements. And like I said, you can get different types of sources. But one of the cool things you can do with a protein supplement is you can use it for breakfast first thing in the morning, especially if you're an individual that has a tendency to skip breakfast. You can take an ounce of protein, roughly about 20 grams of protein, would be equivalent to about 3 eggs, and mix it in with some water or some juice or maybe some milk. I love hemp milk myself. It's just like my favorite thing. I like the taste of it. It tastes kind of odd, but I just kind of like it. So I'll mix it in with that and then blend it up together, have a couple slices of toast. No, I have enough protein to start the day, so to speak. But what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of maybe delve into what we call amino acid supplementation. So it's a little bit different. We're going to look at a couple different things. So when we start looking at amino acid supplementation, we see a couple different things. Number one, there's 2 different types of amino acid supplements, technically. There's other different things that kind of fit in there, but for today's training, we're just going to talk about 2. So when we look at those 2 particular different types, first of all, we have what we call hydrolyzed proteins. And those hydrolyzed proteins means they've added an enzyme to maybe some type of a medium, whether it's liquid or maybe it's powder. And what those hydrolyzing enzymes do is they kind of split it apart. So a great analogy here that we're using is hydrolyzed whey protein. One thing that you'll notice about hydrolyzed whey protein versus another just whey protein that's not hydrolyzed is the actual digestibility increases quite a bit. In fact, what we'll notice on the chart here is that it takes a hydrolyzed protein roughly about 30 minutes to get digested and into the system, as opposed to about an hour, maybe even 2 hours for a non-hydrolyzed protein. So one thing that's nice about an amino acid supplement that's been hydrolyzed, it's much more quickly delivered into the bloodstream and oftentimes produces a lot of great results. Especially when it comes to athletes, hydrolyzed proteins definitely reduce the muscle soreness time and increase and speed up the healing component, so to speak, and actually have been proven to have a little bit better benefit for building up muscle tissue. Kind of gives you a little idea of hydrolyzed. Another hydrolyzed product is hydrolyzed collagen. And hydrolyzed collagen, one thing we know about hydrolyzed collagen, it's used for beauty aids. And so the hydrolyzed collagens that are typically on the market are a great aid for helping with developing or building healthier looking skin and maybe kind of helping with wrinkles and like just a little bit of complexion. So I know a lot of you guys are probably taking that and just like going, okay, I'm going to go deal with the wrinkles. But yeah, it's one of those things you can use, and collagen kind of plumps up the skin. So it kind of gives you an idea. Now, mind you, the hydrolyzation differs a little bit. Some individual companies will have a lower percentage of hydrolyzation. Some will have a higher. You definitely want the higher hydrolyzation. It really actually is an amino acid product when it's a very high-end hydrolyzation, like 60% or more. All right, so second on the list is free amino acids. So what's interesting about free amino acids, it's a whole nother game, so to speak. So when we look at free amino acids, one thing we know about free amino acids is this. We covered earlier in the segment on protein that when we look at a protein molecule, there's hundreds of amino acids that are put together on a chain, so to speak. Well, hydrolyzed amino acids kind of chop them up. Well, free amino acids actually do something completely different. Oftentimes, they're biological ferments where they take maybe yams or different types of food components and they put bacterium in with a solution, and it actually takes those proteins that are in that food and digests it down to 100% individual amino acids so the body can absorb them and have them in the bloodstream within 5 minutes. So it's a very quick delivery system. So what's unique about these free amino acids is they kind of take on life on their own, so to speak. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some specific individual amino acids. And looking at these particular amino acids, there's kind of some neat things. As we were saying, they kind of have their own little life. And so first one we're going to look at is arginine. What's fun about arginine, when you take arginine by itself, it acts as a vasodilator. Very popular right now for heart health, as well as also for using it as a pre-workout. Kind of gets the body ramped up and amped up and also gives you a little energy at the same time. Arginine is definitely one of the number one amino acids being used in the free form or the individual form. Second on the list would be branched chain amino acids, great for muscle tissue recovery and repair. Taken before the workout, it actually inhibits serotonin, so it kind of wakes you up and gets you ready for the workout. So next on the list is glutamine. Glutamine is a gut amino acid. It's great for intestinal healing. It's also great for stress and trauma, and it's also another muscle building agent. Next on the list is GABA. We look at GABA and we see GABA aminobutyric acid, is an inhibitory amino acid. So it kind of calms the body down, and it's great for stress. It's great for anxiety. Used before bed, helps with sleep. So next on the list is lysine, and lysine is an amino acid. When taken abundantly or insufficient, it actually helps to prevent what the herpes virus from being able to replicate it. So it's great for cold sores, fever blisters, and things of that nature. And then next on the list would be tyrosine, and tyrosine is great for energy. And then tryptophan. Tryptophan is great for sleep, and its cousin, 5-HTP, which is excellent for helping with mood and relaxation throughout the day. So it kind of gives you a good snapshot, so to speak, of all the different amino acids, what they're good for, and get you on your way for general good health. Thank you very much. This is Starkey Sowers. Thanks for watching another Plus Program training series.